Half a day. I'm Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz. I'm chairman on the Committee on Tourism. Tourism is the most important driver of Guam's economy. It accounts for over 60% of our gross domestic product. It employs more than almost 60% of our workforce in the private sector. We unfortunately don't have any natural resources that we can export. What we do export and try to bring people to Guam is we export the beauty of our island. We try to attract as many tourists as possible. Over the last year, we've had almost 1 million tourists. And I think it's imperative that we as a community do everything that we can to protect Guam. I'd like to ask you to all envision being the director of GBB or the director of the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, or just a tour agent, and your responsibility is to market Guam in, say, Japan or in Korea. You're in Seoul or you're in Tokyo. How would you want to describe Guam? Is the Guam that you're going to be talking about a Guam where we have 6, 7, 8-lane highways clogged with traffic like you would find in Tokyo or in Seoul? Or is it going to be a Guam where there's no green space because it's all been built over with homes or shooting ranges or headquarters for 10 or 12 or maybe even 25,000 additional military personnel? What is the kind of Guam that you want if you decide to have tourism as your profession?
Guam has a very rich history and culture that is very different from any place in the world, and so that is the key message that we're really trying to first and foremost promote. There's a lot of beautiful beach destinations around Asia, but there is only one Guam. And so the uniqueness that is Guam, the history, the culture, and the people that have made Guam what it is today is the basic message that we're trying to get across.
So with tourism, you have to remember that we are a very vibrant and strong tourism industry, and it is Guam's main economy. It is probably the largest employer on the island, as well as the largest contributor to the economy. It makes up 60% of the island's gross domestic product, and that's something that can't be argued and has to be reckoned with.
As you've heard from Jerry and Mary, we on Guam depend on tourism to drive our economy and to provide us with the luxuries that we are so used to and have come to enjoy. Also, we have to think about the influx, as I mentioned earlier, the traffic. I mean, people leave Seoul and leave Tokyo for a vacation spot because that's what they want to do. They want to be able to be free to drive around without having to deal with traffic congestion and 6 or 7 lanes, and so we really have to stop and think about that. But more important for me is the loss of green space. I really do think the reason why I have been so opposed since the beginning, in fact even my opposition to the lead zone landfill, has stemmed from the fact that I don't want us to be turning this whole island into just a network of roadways to move huge trucks of trash or huge trucks of munitions. One of my favorite drives, and driving from Talafulfo to Malolo and Inarahan, it used to be that overhang with all of the trees there. That to me was Guam, and that was the reason why I didn't want the sanitary landfill back there, because I didn't want them to have to expand that road and lose that beautiful overhang. as you can see from the drive down Marine Corps, I mean, that grotesquely ugly underpass and all the traffic that's going to be out there is going to destroy the island feel and that we try to promote Guam to be, and all the other things that are going to happen. I mean, I have no opposition to the industrialization that's happening down in Harmon, but we've got to keep it in a certain area and not destroy the entire island and make everything be buildings from north to south and not have green space. We're very, very fortunate that we live here, and so we tend to take for granted our island's beautiful greenery. I mean, all the green space that we have around us. We are reminded, of course, that when our drives are cooler and more comfortable in the shaded roadside vegetation at 3 in the afternoon, but we quick to forget again as we exit our air-conditioned cars and enter our air-conditioned homes. But what would a honeymooning couple pose in front of when being photographed for their vacation photo album? What scenery will be put on a poster of Guam to be hung in a travel agency in Japan if we take all of the beautiful green space that we have throughout the island and turn it into homes or buildings for headquarters, worse yet to turn a beautiful part of the island on the backside on Route 15 into a shooting range, that beautiful golf course, Manila golf course, to try to tee off and listen to machine gun fire.
Till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
We need to define Guam as a brand. If we don't define Guam's brand, it will be defined for us by default. So the simplest way I can explain this is we want people to know that Guam is a great leisure resort destination with a lot of rich heritage and culture. And by the way, there are military bases there, as opposed to Guam, a military base, and there's nice beaches.